For almost all of our history, we weren't special at all. We were just one species out of millions. Really, shaped by nature, not the other way around. We weren't the rulers of the planet. Heck, we weren't even all that dangerous. But somewhere along the line, that balance just broke. So that's what we're going to dive into. That one moment, the moment we stopped being just another animal and became a force that nature itself might not survive.
So that's the big question, right? When did this massive shift actually happen? A lot of people might guess it was the Industrial Revolution, or when we built the first cities, maybe even when we invented farming. But the truth is, the roots of our power and our ability to cause so much destruction, they go much, much deeper than that. The answer? Well, it's written in the very bones of the earth, and we're going to follow that trail of evidence together.
Okay, so to really get what changed, you have to picture how things were for millions of years. Our ancestors were fragile. Their impact on the world was tiny. Honestly, they were prey just as often as they were predators. The environment was the boss, telling them where to go, what to eat, not the other way around. They were completely living within nature's limits. I mean, just look at this timeline. The scale is staggering. For hundreds of thousands of years after our own species, Homo sapiens, showed up, pretty much nothing changed in terms of our impact on the planet. We were just another medium-sized mammal doing its thing. But then, something happens. Right around 70,000 years ago, there's this huge shift, and it was a change so deep, it literally rewrote the rules of life on Earth.
So what was it? What was this big shift? It wasn't that our brains suddenly got way bigger or that our tools magically got better overnight. No, it was a revolution inside our heads, and more importantly, in how we work together. We developed complex language, sure, that let us share really detailed info, but the real secret sauce, the absolute game changer, was our ability to create and believe in shared stories, myths about gods, tribes, nations. That right there is the key. It's what lets thousands of complete strangers cooperate on a single mission. No other animal on Earth can do that.
And that right there, that's the whole thing. One smart person is one thing, but 1,000 smart people, all united by the same story, all working together with a common plan, that is something the world had never seen before. That's a force that can literally reshape an entire ecosystem. The hunt was no longer about one guy with a spear. It was about entire communities planning, trapping, and driving whole herds of giant animals off cliffs. The rules of the game, they were completely rewritten. Forever.
And this newfound power, it had immediate and devastating consequences. Scientists actually have a name for the pattern that seems to follow our species across the globe. It's called the overkill hypothesis, and it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. The theory is that as we, modern humans, spread out from Africa, we became such good, coordinated hunters that we basically wiped out the largest animals on every single continent we set foot.
Now, that's a huge claim, I know. But the evidence isn't just some abstract theory. It's a trail of bones that follows our exact footsteps across the entire planet. It's a pattern that repeats itself so consistently, it's really, really hard to just call it a coincidence. So, let's follow that trail.
Okay, let's look at the evidence. We show up in Australia around 50,000 years ago, and boom, within a few thousand years, its giant kangaroos and marsupial lions are gone. We cross into the Americas about 15,000 years ago, and just after that, the mammoths, the saber-toothed cats, the giant sloths, all gone. The exact same pattern repeats in Eurasia, with the disappearance of woolly rhinos and cave lions. It's like a script. Wherever sapiens arrived, a mass extinction of big animals wasn't far behind.
It's honestly hard to wrap your head around the scale of this. In a place like Australia, out of all the animal species that were bigger than a person, nearly 90% vanished right after we got there. 90%. This wasn't some minor ecological change. This was a biological apocalypse, and it was caused by our ancestors who had little more than stone tools, fire, and that revolutionary new power of working together.
But as shocking as that wave of extinction is, it's not even the most chilling part of the story. Because the trail of bones doesn't just include mammoths and giant kangaroos. It also includes other beings who were, for all intents and purposes, just like us.
Think about the Neanderthals for a second. For hundreds of thousands of years, they were the kings of Ice Age Europe. They were tough, they were smart, they were survivors. They made it through brutal climate swings, they hunted enormous animals. And yet, what happens? Within just a few thousand years of us, Homo sapiens, showing up in their backyard, they're gone. The timing is just too perfect to be a coincidence.
So what was it about us? What made us so uniquely lethal? Well, think about a lion. A lion kills to eat. If its prey starts getting scarce, the lion population goes down. It's a natural balance. But us? We just don't play by those rules. When sapiens ran into competition, whether it was a mammoth for food or a Neanderthal for territory, the goal wasn't just to get a meal. The goal was total elimination. We didn't slow down when things got scarce, we got smarter. We came up with better strategies, and we hunted them even harder, until they were simply gone.
Okay, so to be fair, this is something scientists have debated for a long time. Some have argued that, hey, maybe it was climate change at the end of the Ice Age that was the real killer. And climate definitely played a part. It put a lot of stress on these animals. But here's the thing. The climate had changed like that many times before, and it never caused a global wipeout like this. The one new ingredient in the mix was us. Climate change might have loaded the gun, but it was our arrival that pulled the trigger. We were the tipping point.
And that really brings us to the core of it. Our total dominance of this planet isn't some modern thing. It's not because of steam engines or smartphones. It started way, way back, tens of thousands of years ago. The second we figured out how to link our minds together and act as one, without a lot of thought for whatever or whoever stood in our way.
This quote really sums it all up perfectly. Everything we see around us today, our global society, our incredible technology, our massive environmental problems, this isn't some brand new story. It's just the latest and maybe loudest chapter in a story we started writing a long, long time ago. The pattern of expanding, consuming, and eliminating anything in our path was set long before the first city was ever built.
And that's the really uncomfortable truth we find at the end of this trail. Our rise to become the planet's top species, well, it wasn't a peaceful handover. We weren't given the keys. We took them. It's like we cleared the entire board of any real competitors, animal or otherwise, just to make room for ourselves. Not because our ancestors were evil, but because they were organized, they were relentless, and they were better at it than anyone else.
Which leaves us with one last really big question. The history is crystal clear. We are absolutely capable of causing an ecological collapse. We've done it before, on multiple continents, with nothing but stone tools. So the real question for us now isn't about what we can do, it's about who we are. After 70,000 years of this same relentless pattern, have we ever actually learned how to stop? Or are we just destined to keep clearing the way until there's nothing